Stranded Deep is an early access Avava game that was developed and published by Beam on January 23, 2015. The game can be played as a single-player or split-screen co-op, and you can buy it for $15 on Steam and Epic, and $20 for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Take the role of a plane crash survivor stranded somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. Come face to face with some of the most life-threatening scenarios that would result in different experience each time you play. Scavenge, discover, survive. This review will be separated into different sections, and you can see all the timers down below in the description. I would much appreciate if you subscribe to ICOnlyBlue for all of my live streams and random videos. ICOnlyBlue reacts for my raw reactions about different subjects, and ICOnlyBlue reviews dedicated to provide you with the best honest reviews and first impressions. With no more delays, let's begin with the menu settings. You can continue or create a new world with the click of a button. Save slot keeps your different playthroughs separated. Cartography allows you to customize the default map, and the island editor gives you the ability to create a unique island by placing and positioning every available in-game asset and changing the terrain in a very simplified way. Under options, you have general settings with customizable interface and gameplay. This is the only way to hide your UI, since there is no keybinds to do that, and the complete removal of the motion sickness is a lifesaver. Under graphics, we have a complete graphical settings that allows you to customize your game to your needs. Audio with all of the necessary sliders, except for the intro music that is at 100% volume and cannot be customized, and finally input with the usual tacos and fully customizable keybinds. This is a great example of how menu settings should be, and other developers need to use this as a great example. Overall, an absolute 10 out of 10 menu settings. In the aftermath of a mysterious plane crash, you are stranded in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Alone, without any means to call for help, you must do what you can to survive. Explore underwater, and on land you can hunt for supplies to craft the tools, weapons, and shelter. Hunger, thirst, and exposure to the sun conspire against you as you brave treacherous elements and creatures of the Pacific Ocean. Live long enough and stay alive. The story of Stranded Deep is pretty short. You go through the first cinematic that is identical to the forest, and few seconds later your plane ends up floating in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, with the raft being your only savior. You wake up on your raft next to an island and a shark roaming around you. The overall idea is that an unexpected plane crash left you stranded on an island similar to the forest. Although in the forest a tribe stole your son, on this one you are totally alone. There is no backstory of your character or any additional information about who you are. Throughout your entire playthrough, you are trying to survive and escape, but the game doesn't give you any indicators or clue about that being an option. If I didn't see the cartography, I would have never known. Eventually, you will discover a plane that was left broken by someone else, and you have to find the missing parts so you can escape. Most of the missing resources can be found just by looting around, but the 3 missing plane parts are gated behind 3 underwater bosses that you have to defeat. Once again, there is no story related to the plane, neither any logical explanation why those 3 creatures hold the 3 missing parts. While exploring around different islands, you will always find broken boats and planes, so you can easily assume that similar crashes occurred before. Upon repairing the plane, you enter into another cinematic that shows your character flying away. 3 hours later, you crash into the same plane from the intro, making the story even more confusing. One theory is that you crash to yourself in an alternative time zone, or you crash into the next person, creating an infinite loop. Not only there is zero effort creating and delivering the story, completing it will leave you with a disappointing ending. Overall, a 2 out of 10 story. The game begins with you spawning on top of a raft with few resources to help you survive. The tutorial will help you understand the basic mechanics of the game until it asks you to craft a knife. That's when I started learning what a quick craft is and what it does. Why over here I can't do it and over here I can't? Now over here I can. Huh? After many tries, I realized that the game was suggesting me craftables based on the loot that was in my inventory and around me. Since this is not a common feature, I was expecting the tutorial to guide me through it. Other than that, the tutorial would take you through everything you need to know in order to survive. I found it very simple, really good, and extremely important to have in the game. The crafting window is divided by 6 tabs with their own subcategories. Crafting contains all of your simple craftables, tools, weapons, and ammunition. A shelter for skipping the night consuming food and water. A campfire for cooking with few accessories such as a pit that doesn't do anything. A spit for double cooking. A hobo stove that is completely broken. And a smoker for making smoked meat that never spoils. A water stick that scientifically makes no sense since it has to be underground or in a contained environment, a loom for making only cloth, a plank station for making only planks, a furnace for making only clay bottles, a brick station for making only bricks, a tanning rack for making only leather out of one type of hide, and a fuel steel for making only fuel out of potatoes. The third subcategory allows you to craft 2 stands for your light and torch, the only available container for organizing your storages, 2 chairs, 3 tables, 3 shelves for decoration, and a portable bed for sleeping and saving your game, a bird snare and fishing trap that I never use, and belts that unlocks your hotbars. For the construction of your base, you open the building tab that has only 4 types of craftables for each building part. Wood, plank, metal, and brick are the only available variations, with tartan container being the exception. Under vehicles, you have only 4 available floating platforms, the same 4 foundations, and all of the raft and gyrocopter mechanical parts. Under farming, you have only 3 plot variations, with the only difference metal holding more water. Story unlocks trophies after killing the bosses, and the aeroplane parts for completing the game. Under consumables, you have 3 water containers, with ceramic holding the most, bandage and gas for stopping bleeding, splint for healing broken bones, alloy salve for sunburn protection, antidote that will remove the countless amount of poison that will enter your body, breath boost for longer underwater breathing, and finally shark repellent for avoiding the sharks. These are all of your available craftables, which shows their minimal effort. 6 years of development, and this is all you get. There is no interaction with any of the workbenches, and the only thing you need to do is stand next to them and navigate through your crafting window. There is no information about any of your craftables, and for the most part, Wiki will be your best friend. Like, what does the fire pit do? Yeah, sure, right click to pin, but what does it actually do? 3-slot storages can be found only underwater, there are no cosmetics or decorations, and your raft has limited options. If you thought that craftables are bad, the actual survival mechanics are even worse. By pressing F, you can see your health that you can passively recover by eating and drinking, food by fishing and hunting, water from water still only, and sun protection because honestly, why not? Status effects shows your different conditions without any information about how they affect your character, and skills that I have yet to understand what they even do. No information about what poison will do, just nothing. Hey, you poison, bro. It's a video game. Poison, bro. The problem with this is you cannot emulate a video game in real life. So you telling me, hey, you poisoned, doesn't do anything. If I don't feel the pain in real life, you have to somehow tell me what's going on in the game with the text. You are hurting. You lose 5 HP every 10 minutes. Something. Eh, you poison, bro. It's fine. You poison, man. Whatever. I don't know what levels do. I'm leveling up. And if I go to my watch and I go through this, sure, I'm leveling up stuff. What do they do? How is that helpful? Where is the information I need in order to understand what I even do? Tell me, game. What am I level up? One of the key features of the game is the inventory system that I was forced to use a stupid wheel the entire playthrough. Jesus, these console wheels, man. Get rid of them already. We're in 2021. Even though the game's at 2015. Just get rid of them. You have 9 inventory slots that you can add to your hotbars and use the appropriate keybind. If you drop the item and then re-equip it, you have to rebind it again. For my entire playthrough, I unlocked only 3 slots, since those are the only ones you need. Since you have such a limited inventory, you always keep only the necessary. That means couple of tools and a weapon. I'm going to drop something. So this is the case now that I cannot unequip this, right? Because I have my inventory full. So I need to drop my axe. Drop, because 3. Empty a slot. Grab this. Remove everything from my inventory. And here I am. Now I can walk with. As for the keybinds... What the hell? This is the worst quick bar and inventory system I ever seen. The character animation is a buggy mess, and the combat will always remind you that you wasted your money on a garbage game. You see? Oh yeah, and your sensitivity goes... sensitivity! Where's my sensitivity? Combat. Amazing combat. I got it shot. Got it shot. Got it shot. Frog it again. I can't aim. I can't do anything. Can't turn on the light. I can't do anything. Just animation glitch again. It's like happening constantly now. If the game allows you to play, eventually you will make your house on an island of your choice. Let me show you how I utilize every craftable the game offers, with the ultimate goal to create that immersive and fully functional base. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a short clip. This took me 48 hours to make, and I could have finished the game way earlier. Since the game has no decoration, I had to be creative. If I made my base out of clay, that could have easily added another 20 hours. Since I really wanted to stop playing the game and avoid even more countless hours of meaningless grinding, I decided that this is the best I can do. Your overall experience playing the game is simply not enjoyable. You have so few choices when it comes to building, exploring is meaningless since everything looks the same, the consumption rate of your stats is insane, and the available options to replenish them feels like a chore. If you are not getting chased by a badly animated shark, then probably something poisonous is lurking in the corner. Anything related to the game is either buggy, unfinished, or simply broken. Even the multiplayer with the split screen is a total mess. I'm not joking, the game is the actual definition of the terminology garbage. There are at least 22,000 people on Steam that genuinely believe that this is a good game. Throughout my videos I want to educate people and teach them what is good and bad in a survival game. Since the genre itself went to shit the last few years, people lowered their standards, and anything above the average they think is actually good. Please stop reviewing games if you actually cannot define the difference between good and bad. Since I can defend my claims, back them up with evidence, and actually give the solution, I want you to stop listening to others. Sharing my knowledge with the internet can go either way. I promised you honesty and I delivered. Based off the 6 years of development and the expectations of the today's standards, I rate the gameplay 3 out of 10. Graphically the game looks pretty good. Swimming underwater is very realistic and the overall graphics are executed in a very good way. All of the textures are sharp, but since this is Stranded Deep, it comes with a lot of graphical errors. This is how Stranded Deep looks at maximum graphics. You can easily see shadow flickering and textures popping. View distance is at max, and playing with the graphical settings for an hour seems to change nothing. There is a known issue that shadows flicker at far distance islands, but this is the first island you find. Even if I find the graphics truly amazing, this is yet another unfinished work left by the developers. Overall, a 5 out of 10 graphics. Exploration plays the biggest role in the game. The map is divided by a lot of procedurally generated islands that has so little difference between them. I visited the same islands so many times that I end up marking them with a spear. I wish the game provided me with something that I could see from very far. The solution to that is a flag that you can build on the island, and by using a keybind will activate a bright light that you can see from far away, similar to desert skies. Getting access to the cartography while playing will make the navigation even more enjoyable. The fact that I couldn't have my compass out while sailing and the raft shifting towards a random direction constantly truly gave me a bad experience. The lack of navigation tools, the clunky steering mechanics, and not being able to customize my raft truly made me hate exploring. The gyrocopter was even worse. Not only was extremely loud, the fuel consumption was insane, the flying speed was horrible, and the amount of glitchiness prevented me from using it again. Sure, the journey was terrible, so what about the destination? Your daily routine consists of you going from an island to an island, grinding raw resources and diving underwater to find storages. The only available POIs are the sunken ships and airplanes, and the shark will keep you company. More animals such as boars, crabs, snakes can be found on the islands, but the ones you will mostly hate are the poisonous ones. I do appreciate the fish variations, but exploring it was extremely boring. The game needs better customizable rafts and a lot more action while traveling. All you see is emptiness unless you see the whale. Overall, a 2 out of 10 for exploration. Since the beginning of the review, you have been listening to the menu and the in-game music. Although the music was really good, immersive and dynamic, for the most part I had it off, just because of the consistency and the dead air in between each track. Alright, so I'm gonna put my own music, because the game just doesn't do a great job with the music. I need to just mute it. For the most part, it's just no music. As for the rest of the sound effects, it's a total mess. There are no animal footsteps, so they can always just creep behind you, which makes no sense. The snake doesn't have directional audio. I'm getting kinda directional over here, but not really. Indicates me that it should be somewhere over here. The bat sounds horrible. Not only their sound is bad, they're also glitchy while flying if you see them. The storm is realistic but extremely loud. Wow, that's loud. Opening my storages was loud. The engine of the raft was annoying. I had to warn everyone when I was expanding my raft. Ow. Campfire sounded unrealistic. You hear the sizzling of the meat cooking and you're like, okay, so it's cooking, so it's now ready. So you're sitting over here and waiting. But at the end, it was cooked all along. But at least diving underwater is always consistent. Overall, a 4 out of 10 for the in-game sound. An early access title comes with a lot of bugs, issues, and missing features. Stranded Deep exceeded the average by a lot. Usually we get about 30 at maximum. But in this case, for the first time ever, we doubled them. These are not even all of them, just few of them that I wrote while streaming. Putting all of these clips together took longer than you can imagine. People think I write them because I am trying to bash every game that I'm playing, but trust me, I want to be as lazy as every other reviewer out there, but unfortunately, I cannot. For every statement I make, I have 1,000 reasons to back it up. I truly care about all of you, and I want to make sure that you know where your money will go if you decide to buy the game after watching my videos. It is my responsibility, and I put my credibility on the line every time I make a new video. When it comes to the replayability of the game, there is nothing else left behind. If you crafted everything, built all of the craftables, and endlessly grinded for hours and hours, eventually you will run out of loot. All of the islands have limited resources, and because the game doesn't allow you to plant more trees and collect more rocks, eventually you will have nothing else to do. Thankfully, I didn't get to the point where I needed something and I couldn't find it. Even if the developers added more resources, I cannot stretch how repetitive the game is. Every 1 hour, you spend another 1 hour watering your plants, collecting water, collecting fiber, fishing, and cooking. With every other available second, you do the same thing you have been doing since the very beginning. Honestly, how do you keep yourselves entertained? Overall, a 3 out of 10 replayability value. This has been one of the worst experiences that I ever had, and it's time to say my final conclusion. This game is under development for 6 years, and PC users have been funding the game since then. The developers thought it was a great idea to use that money and launch the game on consoles as a complete game, while PC users were waiting for so long. This is a great example when developers don't give a flying fuck about their community. Porting the game on consoles without considering fixing the PC version truly got into me. I am sick and tired of playing console-ported survival games that put no effort or care into the basic functionalities of their own game. As a PC user, I demand the complete removal of the console wheel that they can easily replace with the hotbars, since the developers are so eager to use this inventory system. The second problem is the player base itself. There are a lot of casuals around that love to build and nothing else, so I respect the fact that maybe I'm not the targeted audience, but even then I will force you to start playing better games in hope that you stop being so casual and continuously ruining survivor game standards. You set the bar so low that it's not even funny. I'm not saying expect a $60 game, but when you overlook all of these bugs and glitches, then we seriously need to change. I am glad people are very vocal on Steam, but still, it's sitting over there as a mostly positive game. I am 100% sure that there is at least one person that is watching this video right now ready to type the following line. There are just 2 developers, bro. Relax. It's an early access. If you like people playing with your money, then that's your preferences. But for the majority, this is unacceptable. That concludes my review for Stranded Deep. An absolute waste of time and money that makes me smile thinking that I got it for free on Epic Store. Keep your standards up and let's find the next garbage. Agree or disagree? Let me know down below. Thank you very much for watching, I appreciate that. And if you want to see the playthroughs live, make sure to follow ICOnlyBlue on YouTube, Facebook and Twitch. Other than that, I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Boy!